This is the APD Pod Squad. Hello, sports fans. This episode is an accidental basketball theme. Two of our guests and your host played college basketball. One was a college basketball referee. Take a stab at who did what as I'm joined by Master Police Officer Joe Jones, a student resource officer at Asheville High School. We'll also get to know APD Chaplain Patrick Creed. On Sunday, you'll find him behind the pulpit at Temple Baptist Church, but he's always there for the officers of the Asheville Police Department. From community engagement, Captain Jonathan Brown, and in the History Minute with Hannah Silberman, early APD Christmas parties and traditions. Some of the gifts were quite impressive. Plus, everyone will play the APD Pod Squad Holiday Pop Quiz Part 2. How do you feel about fruitcake? White lights or colored lights on the tree? Speaking of glowing, how do you explain Rudolph's red nose? A mystery to this day. It's all coming up on the Christmas edition of the APD Pod Squad. Getting to know Master Police Officer Joe Jones. Thanks for coming by.
Thanks for having me.
We just kind of met officially, I guess, for the first time just a week or two ago.
Yes, sir.
With another media outlet that was doing a profile on you, and that was a WSPA, Fred Cunningham, as you are the SRO, the Student Resource Officer at Asheville High School. And they have a segment called First Responder Fridays, and that is going to air, the segment, on you. He said, I believe, January 9th?
Yes, sir.
I think so. People want to, see and hear a little more about Joe Jones than on the 9th on WSPA, and they'll probably post that on their social media. And that was my first time inside Asheville High School.
It's a big school.
It's a bit. Well, I lived across the street for the first year I lived here. So those apartments right there, the white buildings,
Beverly condominiums,
the Beverly condos.
Yeah.
So I was literally, if you're looking at it from the doors of Asheville High School, I'm the one in the far right. I was the one in the far right.
Wow.
So I was right there. I looked right across so I knew when the buses were coming and going and all of that. So I saw all of that, and I always admired the architecture.
Oh yeah, it's historical, and I mean it's a beautiful building. Like when people come in, like from different sports and all that stuff like that, they're amazed at how beautiful. Like it looks like a small university.
Don't they call it the Castle on the Hill?
Yes.
Well, because it looks like a castle, the original building, although it's expanded over the years.
Oh, yeah.
They've added a whole bunch of rooms and everything else.
Yeah.
And they've got a lot of famous alumni. My wife, an Asheville High grad, Cougar Pride, as they say, she went to, she was in the same class as Leonard Little. Yeah, one of the most famous alums.
Oh, yeah.
And you've got a story about meeting Leonard for the first time. I overheard you telling it.
Yeah.
Go ahead and share that right now because it's hysterical.
So I'm working in security at a football game, and I'm working at the main gate, and he comes in, and he tries to walk past me, and I'm just like, stop him. And he's like, I'm Head. And I look at him, I'm like, okay. And he's like, no, I'm Head. I'm like, okay, Mr. Head, you got to get a ticket. He's like, well, no, they just let me in. And I'm like, well, nobody's here to let you in, so you got to buy a ticket. And so he goes in, and then he comes back out with the football coach. And he's like, hey, this is Leonard Little. And I'm looking at him like, oh, he's like, his nickname is Head. And I'm like, oh. He's like, you're not from here, are you? I'm like, no, I don't know you. So after that, we had that understanding. Like when Head shows up to the game, he gets in for free. There's
probably not a whole lot of people around here that are bigger than Leonard Little, but you are.
Yeah. So, of course, like I said, we're looking eye to eye, and I'm looking at him like, I don't know you, and it doesn't really matter who you are. You don't have a ticket, so you can't go in.
We just kind of jumped right in. Let's go back to the beginning. Some of the questions that I always ask people to sit down here for the first time. Where were you born?
Misawa, Japan.
So I'm guessing military then, maybe?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you're not the first one that I've heard people give like foreign countries like Germany, Japan, things along that line. So how long were you there? Do you remember any of it?
So my dad did 2 tours. The first tour when I was born, I would think we were over there till I was 2. I remember his second tour, it was in Okinawa, Japan. And I was in 4th and 5th grade. So I remember that a little bit.
Is there anything you miss about Japan?
The food, the culture. I really am a big fan of Japanese culture, like with the honor, the samurai, and all that stuff like that. And so I definitely love that, their way of life over there.
It seems like a beautiful country as well.
It's amazing. Like that is one of my bucket lists to go back, me and the wife to go back and, and just go visit and just, enjoy it in my old age now.
I had a good friend that went over there to teach American, I guess as they say, not English, but to teach American to Japanese executives right after he graduated from college. So they knew how to speak the language, but what they needed, apparently, all these executives for Toyota or Nissan that were coming to the States was how to act like an American. So he and his future wife both taught American, and I think they're in Kyoto? I think they're in Kyoto, Japan.
Okay, on the mainland.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so they were basically teachers, professors, instructors of sorts, but they didn't have to teach the words. They just had to teach kind of maybe the slang a little bit.
Okay, how to use it.
How to use
like
the slang and things that, because as you say, Japanese culture and American culture, way different.
Very, very different. They think that we're like the Wild Wild West. Like
Yeah.
when they think of us, they think of like Clint Eastwood and, all those guys and Dirty Harry and stuff like that. So I think it's always interesting that they think that we're just a bunch of barbarians.
Well, they're not entirely inaccurate there. I mean, some of us certainly are, and some of our tendencies compared to how they live
Yes, sir.
would come across that way.
Oh, yeah.
So how about here in the States? Where have you lived here in the States?
So my dad was stationed, of course, New Orleans. We've lived in Virginia. We lived in Washington State. My sister was born in Fort Campbell, Kentucky. I've bounced around a little bit with just playing ball. Like I've played ball I played in Philadelphia. I played in Minnesota. I played in Connecticut. So I've been around.
Yeah, I know you played basketball because it came up as part of the First Responder Friday segment. Fred Cunningham had emailed me some photos of you from, I guess it was Longwood University.
Yes, sir.
Which is a member of the Big South now.
Yes.
And they play UNC Asheville. So I'm the public address announcer for UNC Asheville. So I see them, all the time, Longwood, and they've got some good teams recently. And so he said, hey, can you check with Officer Jones and confirm that this is him? And I look at it and I'm like, that is absolutely a young Joe Jones. I go, but I'll send him to him and just to see if, just to double check, to confirm. I'm like, Joe, is this you?
Yeah.
And you're like, that's me. And can you get me a copy of those photos because you lost them all?
Yes, sir. And that brought back a lot of core memories. That particular photo was the Par Bills tournament at home. It was our annual Christmas tournament, and I won the MVP of that tournament.
Well, we have those photos for you here. You said you'd lost these photos.
Oh, man.
So there's those photos.
Oh, man.
So tell us about those.
The team photo, that was the first year that Longwood went to the NCAA tournament. We finished, we went on a 20-game win streak, and we made it into the NCAA tournament, and we lost to Norfolk State in the regionals.
What year was that, then?
93, 94.
Okay.
The one where they handed me the trophy, it was the Par Bills tournament of that same year, and I won the MVP of the tournament, of our home tournament.
Wow.
So, and then the one where we're playing with Pembroke State is that was the award ceremony of that same game, and this made my day when I got that email. Like it brought back a lot of great memories.
I'm glad to get you those photos back because I know to somebody that loses those memories. So I reached out to the sports information guy at Longwood, and we'd met before it turned out. We started to talking a little bit because he'd become making the trip to Asheville for the UNCA games, and I told him about my situation. I go, are those the best versions you have of those photos? Yada yada yada. So he got me the best quality versions of they had, and then our assistant upstairs, Julie, on the third floor, she went ahead and had those printed for you. Man. So those are yours.
Thank you.
Yeah, you can get those framed and
oh yeah, and
everything. So I'm
my wife a couple years ago made me my man cave, and so she's got my jerseys from Longwood, from Cyprus, Poland, some other places that I played, and she's got them all framed.
Oh, nice.
And so when you come into the man cave, you've got all my jerseys all around on the wall.
So a lot of people have played college sports and say they played basketball and whatever. I'm one of those people that say they played college basketball. My contributions were so minimal that it's not even worth mentioning because you couldn't even find me on a roster where I played, really. I got into one game, had one shot. It was like, so I was a walk-on. I was the guy on the bench. Sounds like you had a heck of a career.
Yes, sir. I'm still, I think I'm 10th on the all-time single-season scoring record still at Longwood right now.
Wow.
And that's almost 30 years later.
So I'm guessing, power forward?
At power and small forward.
Okay, so, yeah, that's one thing I learned when I made the transition from high school to college. So I'm only 6'4". You're taller than me. I was a center in high school at 6'4", right?
Yeah.
And going up against other guys that were, some of them were 6'5", 6'6", some were my size. Christian Leitner was in our league, so I was guarding him on a regular basis.
Wow.
He was clearly much larger and better.
Oh, yes.
So that was my claim to fame, was not my career, but who I played, right?
Yeah.
Do you remember Cliff Robinson?
Yes.
He was another one we used to play. He played for Riverside in Buffalo. Christian Leitner played for Nichols Academy, and he was in our league, so I had to guard him twice a year for 3 years.
Wow.
Dude, he just took me to school almost every time. I mean, he was Christian Leitner, right? So,
Man.
so then I get to college, a guy that had played center, and I want to walk on, and they're like, okay, so are you shooting guard or are you a small forward? And I said, small forward. Because if I said center, they would have laughed me out of the room.
Yes, sir.
So
Oh, yeah.
I did make it, and they got to beat up on me in practice, but that was a lot of fun. But I was just a practice guy.
Man.
But I bet you got some good memories, though.
Lots. And
I saw it when we were in Asheville High School. Walking right up to there was Cameron Mabin's son.
Yes, sir.
And so he's more known as a baseball player, and his dad, too.
Yep.
But I guess he's quite a basketball player as well.
He is. He doesn't play for us, though. He's solely focused on baseball, which when I first started coming through Asheville, his dad, Cameron, was a big basketball star in this area, and baseball, too. And then he started focusing on baseball.
And I overheard, I guess he's got a full scholarship to Texas.
Yes.
So I guess the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree there.
Yeah.
Huh?
Now, we're still in discussions. I'm trying to get him to drop that commitment and go to LSU is what we're working on right now. So,
okay, so I asked you where you're born, Japan, and then moved all around. So what is the one thing that most people don't know about you? And I know you're kind of an open book, man. You just smiles for everybody, and everyone loves you. But there's got to be something that most people don't know.
I love cartoons.
Cartoons. Now, are we talking old school classic Looney Tunes, or are we talking like more modern, or what kind of cartoons?
Looney Tunes, Super Friends, Tom and Jerry. I do like the modern Marvel or DC animations now, like the Super Friends, Superman, Batman, all that. But old school Looney Tunes, Daffy Duck is my favorite character. Had him tattooed on my chest. That was my first tattoo. Marvin the Martian, all that. Like I am a junkie for Looney Tunes. Like I can sit and binge watch Looney Tunes all day.
Man, we are brothers from a different mother, because that was my memories from growing up, was watching those cartoons at my grandma and grandpa's house.
Oh, yeah.
Just every Saturday morning watching those. I mean, I have a Tigger tattoo, so they're not Looney Tunes, but I've also got a Tigger tattoo on my left shoulder. So, man, I do love me some cartoons. Matter of fact, I have a limited edition print featuring all of the characters voiced by Mel Blanc. It's called Speechless. That is the name of the print. So it's got Foghorn Leghorn and Bugs and Elmer Fudd and Daffy Duck and Sylvester and Yosemite Sam and all of those with their heads bowed and a spotlight on an empty microphone, because Mel Blanc was called the man of 1,000 voices. He voiced all of those characters. One copy of a print went to everybody that had ever worked with him, and I found one at one point. I'd seen one in a museum, and I just started searching for the next 5 years until I finally found one.
Wow.
So I've got a copy of that print. That's like one of my prized possessions. So I love the Looney Tunes.
Man.
See, Bugs was my guy. I mean, just everything about Bugs his shenanigans were just legendary.
Oh, yeah.
Always messing with everybody.
Him and Elmer Fudd, those interactions were always my favorite. And Daffy's, the way that he would just manipulate them and have them shoot themselves.
Duck season, rabbit season, duck season. So what got you into police work? What made you want to be a law enforcement officer?
The funny thing is I didn't want to be a cop. When I first got done playing, I came home because I had a son at the time, and I wanted to be a dad and not be one of those absentee fathers. So I came home and I tried coaching and working in the school system, and that just wasn't it for me. Policing, military, athletics is a lot similar to me as far as personality types and stuff like that. So Sheriff's Department was hiring at that time, and so I applied with them and started working there because it was just a job where I was still incorporated in a team, had a chance to still touch lives and work in the community and stuff like that, and make some money. That was my whole spiel of getting into law enforcement.
And I guess being an SRO kind of checks all those boxes, because you can still kind of coach kids, right? You're still kind of you're there obviously for the presence that you're there for, to protect everyone and all of those things. But at the same time, I'm sure you can install a little bit of lessons here and there, a couple of words of wisdom. Everyone kept coming up to you there. Everyone loves you at the school.
I'm engrossed in that community, and I absolutely love it. The first couple of years was a little tough, but, as you're there and the kids watch. Because the thing about kids is they know who's real and who's not, and they see right through you if you're fake. And so over time, building the trust and everything, and now I can't get rid of them. It's now, and it's everywhere I go. I can be on a date with my wife, and if they see me out, they're going to swarm us. If I'm at the grocery store, they see me, they're going to swarm me. If I'm at school all day, I've got kids in and out of my office all day.
So how long have you been at Asheville High School?
This is, I think, my 8th year.
Okay.
My 8th year.
Were you at any other schools before that?
My first stint as SRO, I was at Asheville Middle School, the old Asheville Middle School. And I was there about 5 years, and then I went back to patrol just to make sure that I'd done everything I wanted to do in my career. So I went back to patrol, was FTO, patrol forensics, acting sergeant here and there. But I realized that, my true calling and my heart was, at the schools. Officer
Joe Jones is with us now. Now, your title is something new because of the new pay scale, Master Police Officer.
Yes.
That's not something that existed, I don't think, about a year ago? Was that when they switched that up? How long has that been a title?
Probably in the last 6 to 8 months, maybe.
Yeah, not even.
Yeah.
It's part of the new pay scale that they implemented, which has meant more officers transferring in and more people going to the academy now, and our ranks finally starting to grow. Is that cool to call yourself a master police officer?
I guess I've been around long enough. I guess I earned it, but it does feel weird, to be called that.
And when you say been around long enough, that also probably means your time is starting to wind down.
Yep, I'm on my 18th year sworn in January. It'll be my 18th year sworn. But I've got about 3 years before I retire.
Because it counts the time that you were at a different department? Is
well, age too.
And age too. So that's about 3 years left.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do after that?
We're working on that now. We're trying to figure it out
Coming
now.
up with the plan?
Yeah, we're working on it.
Because you're a young man, officer.
Yeah. I know I have a lot still left in the tank.
Yeah.
But it makes more sense, to go out because of like where I'm grandfathered in at the process and all that.
Yeah.
So don't be surprised if you see me, back around the station hanging out. Or, we might come up with a new adventure. I haven't figured that out yet.
Maybe do that coaching thing maybe? Or,
I don't know anymore. This generation of students is a little difficult. So
it's different, you say?
I think I'm still old school with athletics and mentality. So I might not work out so much, but I have taken up bowling.
All right.
And so maybe try to get on the senior league or something like that.
Bowling's kind of fun. So what are you rolling on an average? What's your average?
Right now, about 160.
Okay.
I just started. So I got my own ball, my own shoes, and I just learned how to spin. So.
Oh, look at you.
So we're getting there.
All right, Lebowski, huh? Okay.
Yes.
So I'm not very good at bowling. I do enjoy it. I got a friend that's really good at it. I mean, he's got the whole thing down. He's bowling 2-somethings every time. So my theory on bowling is I just want to throw it as hard as I can, thinking that, they're just going to – the pins are going to fly everywhere, and that increases my chances.
Yes, and that was my mentality. But, the guys that are more proficient have showed me the way. And it's actually more fun. Like, to me, it's like the equivalent of being a golfer. Going out and going to the driving range and hitting all the time. And then one day you're like, they teach you how to, slice it a certain way and all that. And all of a sudden now you're like, wow, now I'm really golfing. And so that's the way I feel right now about bowling. Like, I'm really bowling now because, I know if I step over this way and curve it, it's going to hit the pocket this way and all that. So
some of these bowling alleys, they have like a miles per hour up there. So I try and get to like 20 miles an hour if I can.
Yes. I used to live there. Now I'm down about 17.
Yeah, when I hit 20, I was like, yes. I might have only hit 2 pins, but I got to 20 miles an hour. All right, let's do this. The Pod Squad Holiday Pop Quiz Part 2. So in the last episode of the Pod Squad, we did Part 1, right? So this is Part 2 that you're taking in.
Okay.
White lights or colored lights on your Christmas tree?
Colored.
I used to have the colored ones at my house until my wife told me that we're going to start using white lights, and so that decision was made for me.
Huh.
So now we're a white light house. How about blinking or non-blinking?
Both.
I have a mood thing going on. I can do settings on mine. So there's nights where I just want to sit there, and there's other nights I want to blink.
That's the wife's tree. So I think that all is depending on how she's feeling.
You see, now you're catching on.
Yes.
How do we explain Rudolph's glowing red nose? Because they never do explain that. You got a theory?
I thought that maybe he just had a cold.
That's a possibility, right? You get the sniffles,
and
the red nose. Okay, quite possible. Fruitcake, yes or no?
Ugh.
Yeah, the look on your face says no.
No.
All right. Give me your heartiest ho, ho, ho.
Ho, ho, ho.
That's intense. That's very deliberate. Pronounce the traditional holiday plant with the red leaves. The ones wrapped in foil, because people say it differently. You know what I'm talking about, right?
The poinsettia.
Aha. Everyone pronounces it just slightly differently, which is why I ask this question.
Huh.
If you ask 4 different people how to pronounce that, which is why I couldn't say it, I had to describe it, you'll probably get 3 or 4 different answers. despite the spelling. I just like to ask it and see what people say. What's your favorite Christmas carol?
Frosty the Snowman by the Jackson 5.
Oh, yeah. You like that one?
Yeah.
Jackson 5 did some great Christmas music.
Oh, yeah.
Like, one of my favorites by them is, it's almost pretty mischievous, is I Saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus.
That one, too.
That one.
I grew up on that album.
Because they wouldn't believe him. Little Mikey's like, come on, you got to believe me.
Yeah.
I said,
oh, yeah, that
I
brings
saw
back
what
memories.
I saw.
Yeah.
Have you seen the movie Elf?
Yes.
Okay, so according to Buddy the Elf, what are the 4 food groups that elves can eat?
I do not.
He gives the list, the 4 food groups: candy, candy canes, candy corn, and syrup.
That sounds like a diabetic episode waiting to happen.
It's the elves, though. Don't you remember the scene where he pours the syrup on, the spaghetti? He's mashing it up with like M&Ms and stuff, and then he actually eats it.
I remember.
Good gosh. Have you seen Christmas Vacation? Have you seen that one? Chevy
Years
Chase?
ago, it's been a long time.
Okay, you might not know this one. What's the reply to the question in the classic scene from Christmas Vacation? Why is the carpet all wet, Todd? Ring a bell?
No.
I don't know, Margot. It's when the big icicle comes right through their window and it breaks, and so they don't know why. See, as a cop, I thought, so that'd be an investigation thing. It'd be like, why is the carpet wet? The window's broken and there's no evidence. It was an icicle that melted. Okay. How many la's in the song Deck the Halls? La, 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 la. How many la's total, beginning to end? It's a lot of la's, I'll tell you that much. And probably more than you think.
13.
In the whole song?
Oh, in the whole song?
The whole song. Think about how many times they do the chorus. Deck the halls with...
Let's go with 220.
Okay, that's a little tall. 96.
Well, I was thinking about the remix.
Of course you were. All right, when kissing under the mistletoe, is it acceptable to use tongue?
I think it depends on who you're kissing.
It's all situational, isn't it?
Yes.
All right, you guys got any plans for Christmas? What you doing?
Me and the wife and the kids are going to head out to Folly Beach for a few days and just hang out, do a little bit of shopping and a little bit of hanging.
Okay, so you're talking about my old hood. I lived in James Island right there next to Folly Beach for 3 years.
Okay.
So we lived right off of Folly Road. You would have had to basically pass by my house on the way there.
Wow.
So what's your plans when you get there? You stay in an Airbnb? What are you doing?
Oh, we're staying Tides of Folly on the beach.
Yep, right there.
Got to hit Red's Ice House, Hyman's, and then I found a little hibachi spot. It's a whole little hole in the wall that I got to eat there too. And then there's a place in Charleston, like some of the best barbecue we've ever had.
There's several really good ones. Rodney Scott's?
Nope.
Rodney Scott's was my favorite because it was right around the corner from where I worked. I was the location manager for Palmetto Brewing, and the original Rodney Scott location was on King Street, but there's some other ones right near there. There's Lewis Barbecue, which is more of a Texas style. There's also Home Team Barbecue, which is just on the other side of Lewis Barbecue. And then if you want to stay in that James Island area, Martin's Barbecue is really good too.
Huh.
But if I could recommend a place, if you're staying out in Folly, instead of coming into Hyman's, on your way into Folly, on the right, you can barely notice it. It's a place called Lolo's.
Okay.
It is right before you pass a large creek, and I forget the name of that particular creek. It's not the Intercoastal, which is the next one, but it is just before that. So you're talking a couple of 100 yards before you get onto Folly Island, right? It is on the right, and it's called Lolo's. It looks like a little, kind of almost like a little fishing shack of sorts.
Okay.
And I am telling you, some of the best food you wouldn't maybe think by looking at it.
Yeah.
But it's just kind of a little hidden gem there. It doesn't get all the publicity as some of the other places, but it's also not very far from where you'll be staying.
Okay. We'll check it out for sure.
So it's right there next to it. If you're looking at a place, Lolo's.
Yeah, we'll be there for a few days. So
all right.
We can definitely take that in.
That'll be a nice place to go Christmas. A little warmer than here.
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
Master Police Officer Joe Jones, Merry Christmas, and thanks for coming by.
Merry Christmas. Thanks for having me.
Getting to know APD Chaplain Patrick Creed. Welcome. Thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me.
I know that everyone here at the Asheville Police Department speaks very highly of you, loves having you as one of our chaplains, but it's not a full-time job, right? You have one of those, and in that capacity, you are called, I believe, pastor? I don't know, maybe reverend, perhaps minister. That's the thing. There's so many titles that go with your position, and I've never understood if it's personal preference or...
I do many different things. My first calling is as the pastor of Temple Baptist Church, and that is why I'm here in Asheville. But part of that is ministering to the community, and that lends me other opportunities and other positions in the community. And so I answered anything. In fact, my name's Patrick, and so as I introduce myself, sometimes I will start with with Pa, and I don't know if I'm going to go to Patrick or Pastor, but I like going with Pastor Creed or Patrick Creed. I don't care what you call me, but I enjoy just ministering and being part of this community.
What does it say in your program, in your church program? How does it identify you?
Pastor Patrick Creed, that's it.
But here you're the APD chaplain.
Yes.
Well, let's start with that then. How did that happen? How did you become the APD chaplain? One of several that we have.
Very interesting story. We had Officer Stroop from West Asheville stop by, and of course we called him. There was a person on the property that was lingering, and we had to call APD in to help us out with that. And as I began talking with Officer Stroop, I asked him, I said, how can I help you? Of course, it was in a difficult time for the police officers. If we remember 5 or 6 years ago, maybe 7 years ago, difficult time with the police officers. And I really wanted to be a help and reach out to them any way we could. And he mentioned that they were looking for chaplains. In that period, that time period, I couldn't just, hey, I'm a chaplain, or hey, I'm here to be a chaplain. But there was a process, and it took about a year after that to get on board, just because of everything that was going on, the transitions in APD and all that. And so it was the very beginning, meeting a police officer and him recommending that I become a chaplain. So
that's awesome. When I got this job, I had to take a lie detector test and all that stuff. Did you have to go through that same process? Did you?
Well, there was a background check, absolutely, but they have not yet put me in the lie detector test.
Yeah, it's not fun. It's not a lot of fun, and I'm sure you had nothing to hide. I had nothing to hide, but it is nerve-wracking. I'm here to tell you, all these things that are attached to you up on top, down below, and it's just like they're detecting every little motion, every movement, every heartbeat. And it's very, very disturbing.
Well, hopefully a pastor can pass a lie detector test.
I would hope, but you just never know. Since this is a getting to know segment, we'll ask you the questions that we ask everybody as part of the getting to know. First of all, where were you born?
I was born in Washington, D.C.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
When did you leave Washington, D.C.?
I'm a pastor's son, and so being a pastor's son, we traveled a little bit. Mm-hmm. We've been in Edenton, North Carolina, over by Elizabeth City area, Virginia Beach, and then back up into the Maryland part of Washington, D.C. is where I was raised, in Clinton, Maryland, Waldorf, and then eventually before college, Annapolis, Maryland.
Okay.
And so I was a pastor's son. I helped out, setting out the hymn books and running in the auditorium and causing trouble and all that good stuff. So we're from kind of everywhere.
Did you live in D.C. area long enough to experience all the cool things, all the museums, all the monuments, all those things?
Yes, and when you live there, they're not as cool, but they're nice, and we enjoy going down there at Christmas time to the mall, and enjoy, of course, during the springtime, all the trees and the wonderful, beautiful atmosphere down there. But the traffic is horrible, we just try to stay away from there if you live there.
Yeah, the loop. It's the absolute worst, and I learned about it the hard way. Good friend of mine lived in Falls Church, Virginia, and I was living in Clearfield, Pennsylvania, right? So middle of Pennsylvania, and I was just out of college, had no money, but you have a week's vacation. You're like, well, I'm going to go down and just visit him, right?
Yeah.
So he's working during the week. I just drove down and stayed with him, and so I was just kind of on my own in my little Geo Spectrum car, okay? And I'm a pretty big guy, but that's all I could afford at the time. This car max was, 65 or 70 miles an hour until it starts shaking, right?
Wow.
And so you've been on that loop.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever that is, 295, 395, 495.
You were there, yeah.
Yeah, so whatever that 95 is, people are, I'm probably going 70 just not to die, and they're flying past me at like 80 or 90 in some cases.
Yeah.
Man, I am telling you, I did a lot of praying that day on that loop right there, because that's a dangerous piece of asphalt.
That is. My grandpa always says you're either quick or dead on that loop.
That's the truth.
Yeah.
But I did get a chance to experience the area just kind of on my own and got to explore. And it is wonderful. It's always different when you're a tourist, right? Even here in Asheville.
Sure.
I mean, we've got all kinds of wonderful things that probably I or you haven't even experienced, and we live here.
Yeah.
It's just one of those like, oh, have you been to Biltmore? Well, not in a while, but it's one of those things.
Right.
And then that same friend, he moved to Baltimore and lived there for about 20 years. So I got to experience that whole area, the Inner Harbor and all of that, he lived on Federal Hill, which is right there just outside downtown. And it's a great area, a real good area. That whole part of the country is pretty cool. So that's the first question we ask. And, of course, you've moved around a lot. So how about one thing that most people don't know about you? Like just one of those hidden gem secrets that just kind of, or just, you know what, I really love anchovies, you know, whatever it happens to be.
Well, growing up in a pastor's home, I did go to Christian schools, and that gave me the opportunity to actually play basketball. I'm not very good at basketball, wasn't very good at basketball, but I ended up playing college basketball at the Bible college I went to. So a lot of people, I just tell them I played college basketball. I didn't tell them that it was just a small Christian college, but it was basketball.
Leave those details out.
That's right.
You know, we have a little noon basketball league here at the APD, right, where they meet sometimes.
Yeah, they don't want me to play. They don't invite me to play. I guess they don't like losing. That's probably what it is.
Oh, is that what it is? Let me ask you this, since it is the Christmas season.
Sure.
Of the two sermons, of the two stories, the two messages, which is your favorite? Christmas, the Christmas story, or the Easter story?
Oh, that is really a tough one.
It is, because they're both very integral to Christianity. The birth of Jesus on one side, which creates the whole story, and then, of course, his crucifixion and being raised from the dead, which completes the loop.
Yeah, you can't have one without the other.
No, you can't.
And so I actually love Christmas time. It's my favorite time of the year. And I guess because he came for the purpose of dying, Christmas time is probably my favorite. It's very important to understand. They both are so important to the gospel. Understanding that Jesus loves us so much that he came and died for our sins. And he was buried and he rose again and he still lives, and he lives today. And that's the difference that separates me from a lot of others, is that I believe in a God that is alive and helps us and loves us. And that's why I'm here as a chaplain.
Pastor Patrick Creed, the APD chaplain, is with us right now. And do you still really get excited about Sunday morning services and preaching the gospel? Is that something that still excites you each and every week?
Sunday is the greatest day of the week. I absolutely love Sundays. And I get to teach a young couples class. And that's one of my favorites. And I say young couples, all the couples in the church come, and we're just going through the Bible, the different characters and their prayer life. And just to see that, it's an amazing thing. And to help people. This past Sunday, I preached on victory over the past. And just to see people helped. And then in our afternoon service, it's kind of like almost a college type atmosphere or a teaching. And this past Sunday at 12:30, we went over the Antichrist.
Oh, yeah.
And so that's pretty deep.
It's not the lightest subject matter.
Yes. So we progress, but Sundays are my favorite time, fellowshipping and seeing the people. It's so encouraging because you work all week and you work towards that Sunday. And it's just a wonderful time of fellowship with the Christians.
So I was listening yesterday, talk radio, and Erica Kurt happened to be on it.
Okay.
Charlie's widow.
Yeah.
And they mentioned their marriage, how strong it was because of recognizing the Sabbath and keeping it holy.
Sure.
Really dedicating themselves to treating the Sabbath the way it needs to be treated. And I was thinking about this because I knew we'd be talking, and I'm sure you have an answer, which is why I'm going to ask. But technically, I guess you're working on the Sabbath.
Yeah.
So what's the kind of answer to, you were not supposed to work on the Sabbath, but there you are, you're serving God and working on the Sabbath. So what's the explanation for that?
Well, we understand that there are moral laws and there are ceremonial laws in the past. And so now we are really studying and understanding in the New Testament the moral laws. And we see those in the Ten Commandments and all that. Keeping the Sabbath holy is one of those. And it's really giving that day, the reason why we're keeping the Sabbath holy or keeping that day holy is to give it to God. Now, I believe we ought to give every day to God, but setting apart one day for Him. And that's what I do. There's nothing else going on in our life but focusing on God and focusing on Him and reaching others, studying the Word of God, and that's what we do. And it really is. And to her point, it's really a great time for families to recognize that and just everything else out of your mind. Focusing on what God has for you on this Sunday.
See, I didn't mean to put you on the spot, but I knew you'd have an answer.
Well, thank you.
And it was more a curiosity thing than anything
Sure.
else. I certainly, didn't look at it as a bad thing. The fact that you're preaching, somebody has to be up there on Sunday. Otherwise, we're just left to our own devices, and that's no good.
Yeah.
Working with people one-on-one, I'm sure, is something you enjoy with your congregation. Have you had some good experiences with our officers at APD here? I mean, I'm sure you have.
Oh, absolutely. Every ride-along is a great experience. I haven't had a bad ride-along, and I love doing that. I love riding along. Sometimes I also love stopping by just the office or where they eat and around lunchtime, and we like bringing them some pizza or doing that. Even calling the officers, and I have some of their phone numbers, and I like calling them, checking in on them, ask them how their family is doing. Yeah, absolutely. We love spending that quality time one-on-one with the officers. Yeah.
Any of them find themselves in your pews on Sunday?
Yeah, we have had a couple of them come.
Well, let's talk some secular here, since
Sure.
this is the Christmas season. In our previous episode, we had the Pod Squad Holiday Pop Quiz.
Oh, no.
So this is the Pod Squad Holiday Pop Quiz Part 2.
Okay.
There are no wrong answers. Okay, there are some wrong answers. But let's see what your answers are.
Okay.
White lights or colored lights on your Christmas tree?
White lights all the way.
Okay.
Organization.
See, I used to have colored lights on our Christmas tree. My wife informed me that we were no longer doing that. So now we have white lights on our Christmas tree. Are yours blinking or not blinking?
Oh, they're not blinking. No, they're not blinking. They're staying the same.
See, I alternate. Sometimes I want the blinking. Sometimes I do not. How do we explain Rudolph's glowing red nose? I'm not sure that's ever been explained. We know it glows so bright to guide the sleigh at night, but they never really say what happened.
It sounds like a scientific answer that's way above my pay grade.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would guess he may have gotten shot. I have no idea. It could have been, one of the Marvel movie type bitten by a wrong spider. I have no idea.
I mean, I remember from watching the cartoon. It just all of a sudden he's just a little fawn, and then his nose starts, glowing red. Next thing you know, the kids are picking on him, but then he saves the day. Of
I'm glad it's glowing red. I really am. It sets him apart.
He's needed it, when the skies are dark and all that.
Absolutely.
All right, fruitcake. Yes or no?
Absolutely not. Absolutely. I believe those things should be separate, except for maybe strawberry shortcake. But those fruit and cake should be separate.
You should be good at this. Give me your heartiest ho, ho, ho.
Oh, no. Here we go. Are you ready?
Yeah, I am.
Ho, ho, ho.
That's not bad.
Is that good?
That's not bad at all.
I've never played Santa Claus before.
You haven't? Okay.
No.
There's this and there's that.
Yeah.
So, you're probably better at your thing you do. Pronounce and spell the traditional holiday plant with red leaves. You know which one I'm talking about. It's wrapped in foil. I can't say more because that would give it away.
Say the poinsettia.
Poinsettia, you say.
Is that what is that the right answer?
I'm just wondering because it seems that people say it differently.
Really?
I've heard people use a T in there, kind of like Clemson has a P. I've heard people say poinsettia. I've also heard people say poinsettia.
Ah, I've heard that. Yes.
And it is spelled Poinsettia. I'm not sure there is a right way to say it, but I was just wondering how you would.
Like Lester and Leicester.
Exactly, kind of like that. All right. What is your favorite Christmas carol, or in this case, hymn?
My favorite Christmas carol, I've got two.
All right.
I love O Holy Night.
Boom, that's mine.
Yes. And then my favorite secular one is Snoopy and the Red Baron.
Love that one.
Yes. And they're actually like three of them in there.
I believe there's the one real famous one that ends at the very end. Merry Christmas, my friend. The whole thing. I love that one.
Yes. And if there was a third place, I Heard the Bells on Christmas Day. It's a wonderful story.
Yeah, it is.
But I love that one as well. So
I very much enjoy, I'm not sure about your service, many of them on Christmas Eve end with Silent Night and the candles. I always get a lot out of that.
Yeah.
Really enjoy that.
We have a lot of young couples with young children that would love Silent Nights in their household at our church.
But a bump. Okay, according to Buddy the Elf, you've seen the movie Elf.
Absolutely.
Okay, what are the 4 food groups that elves can eat?
So there's got to be candy cane, candy corn.
That's 2.
Is there syrup?
Syrup is 3.
Oh, the fourth one. Okay. Cotton candy?
Just candy.
Just candy.
Just
okay.
candy. Wait, 3 out of 4 though, man.
Okay.
Yeah, so candy canes, candy corn, and syrup.
Oh, good.
Remember, he puts it on spaghetti.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah.
Oh, gosh. All right. What's the reply to this question from the classic scene in the movie Christmas Vacation? Why is the carpet all wet, Todd?
I haven't seen that movie in a long time.
Come on.
I've got to go home and see that movie.
I don't know, Margot.
Oh, there you go.
Remember the neighbors that had the one icicle launch through their classic scene right there?
Yes, I do have a friend that's going to get on me for not knowing the answer to that. So,
okay, how many la's are in the song "Deck the Halls"? Fa la 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 la. It's a lot of la's.
It sounds like a lot. I'm gonna round it up to 50.
It's 96.
96.
That's a lot of la's.
Wow.
Yep. The three wise men presented the baby Jesus with gold, frankincense, and myrrh. What exactly is myrrh?
You have to ask the pastor that question on the spot, don't you? Yeah. I'm guessing it's just some kind of maybe some kind of scent.
Apparently, it is an oily resin that back in the day was used as incense or in some cases in medicine.
Okay.
And that is frankincense as well. They were both that,
Yeah.
which both were very valuable, considered valuable back at the time. And of course, gold, can never go wrong with gold.
I probably preached on that at one point in time and gave that answer.
Well, I guess it's like, what exactly is myrrh? Everyone just kind of says it without thinking about what those things are.
Sure.
Everyone knows the story of the three wise men and the gold, frankincense, and myrrh, and no one ever questions myrrh.
Well, what is your favorite Christmas movie?
Oh, A Christmas Story.
Oh, really?
A Christmas Story. Oh, yeah, shoot your eye out, kid.
You liked it? We just watched that the other night.
Yes, but I have several actually favorites, right? So every year I have to watch White Christmas with Bing Crosby.
Yeah.
I also really enjoy, was it Miracle on, is it 34th or 54th? I was
34th.
34th. Yeah. The original. So Miracle on 34th Street.
That's a good one.
The original, I like that one. And It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah, my wife's is It's a Wonderful Life. Mm-hmm. Mine is a little bit different. Ernest Saves Christmas.
Oh, no, really?
Is my favorite Christmas movie.
Say it ain't so.
Oh, I love it.
How did that come to be?
When I was young, we watched all the Ernest movies. And Ernest Goes to Camp and all that. And so Ernest Saves Christmas just was my natural go-to Christmas movie.
The Ernest candle burned bright for a very short period of time. Like there was multiple movies. He was on the TV. It's like, but was it Vern, right? That was it's like, what do you say, Vern or whatever?
Hey, Vern.
Hey,
Yeah.
that was that guy. I hope he maximized that like 2 or 3 year window because that was his life, right?
He did a
there.
great job, yeah.
All right. So, well, Merry Christmas, APD Chaplain Patrick Creed, and thank you so much for coming by.
I appreciate you having me.
Captain Jonathan Brown with community engagement with me. Merry Christmas. Let's get that out of the way, right?
Absolutely. Merry Christmas to you, Rick.
Well, I don't want to say it like that. It sounded almost dismissive. Let's get that out of the way. Merry Christmas.
Exactly. It goes without saying.
Well, how's things going? I know you guys are really busy this time of the year. There's a lot of things you've been doing, some things to be done. First, I saw some great pictures of some happy kids at Target just recently for the, you guys don't call it Shop with a
We
Cop.
We don't call it Shop
Helpers
with a
and
Cop.
Heroes,
That's
right?
right. It was Helpers and Heroes, and what a great event. Debbie LaCroix, who's part of the community engagement unit, always does a fabulous job of pulling together kids and families for this event. You know, the community unit, they acquire funding and sponsorship. Target's been a great partner for us really over the years. Mm-hmm. This year we had 20 kids that we were able to sponsor, and we brought them in to Target. We paired them up with an officer and a buggy, and they went shopping for the evening, and it was just really great. It was awesome to see. You know, one of those things that really puts you in the Christmas spirit early.
Because kids write to Santa Claus what they want for Christmas, right? And so this is kind of like that. It's like really what they want for Christmas. I want, that PS2 or what. I'm not a gamer guy. That might even be so passe now. Is PS2 a thing anymore?
I think that's dated. That may be antiquated equipment as far as what's out there now.
You're lucky I didn't say ColecoVision or Atari.
Well, yeah, exactly. That Atari 2600 may still be in your wheelhouse. I'm not sure.
But I see that happening, and they get to choose what they want, and they get to do it with a police officer.
And I can tell you just a heartwarming story. You think you're going to bring kids in and they're going to go and look and buy all the things that are within their interest. We had 2 brothers that came in, and first thing they did was seek out some things for their mother. The gifts that they bought for their mother were really just some regular household items. And it really just put a different spin and perspective on what we were doing because you could tell it met an immediate need for the family. So, man, just really heartwarming, just a great connection for us and those kids and the families. And again, the community unit, all the folks that played a part in making that happen. And not only community unit, we had folks from outside our unit, from logistics, really all through the department that came and supported this. And it was just really, really cool to see.
And the kind of hidden win for this is, I think people's, their view on life, their view on everything is shaped early in their experiences, right?
Yeah.
So when I was growing up, my first experience with a law enforcement officer is, I don't know how old I was, just a kid, maybe 6, 7, whatever it was. But I remember a North Tonawanda police officer knocking on the door and letting people know that there was someone in their area that was breaking into homes. And they knew who it was. They haven't been able to locate him yet. And they gave him a description. So if you see this gentleman, whatever like that, I was right there standing next to my mom. She happened to be there at the time. She asked questions. He was very helpful. That was my first experience with the police officer. And it left an impression, whether it was just kind of in the back of my head or otherwise. So that left a positive impression with me. So a lot of young kids in this community that come from, maybe one is the housing developments or something like that, and maybe their first communication with an officer is sometimes a contact or just something they see is not positive. Something has happened in their community, and they see something bad, and they associate it with that. Mm-hmm. So perhaps for some of these kids, this is their first chance to really talk and be with the police officer for more than a couple of seconds or a couple of minutes, and it leaves an impression.
It does, and it gives us a chance to model that image in who we are and what we want them to know about us in terms of what we bring to this job, that they don't need to be fearful of the police, and we are here to be helpful. Yes, we are responders to when emergencies and crises happen. But it's really important to also have that other side and be connected to them whenever you're trying to do life in community.
So what do we have coming up? We've covered kind of some of the things that you've done. I know we had a blood drive, we had a coffee with a cop, and now what else is left in the month of December and going into the new year?
Yes, so we're rounding out 2025. We've had such a busy year. So we'll round out 2025 with some Christmas events. Like you just mentioned, we had the Helpers and Heroes. We've worked with Hearts with Hands in the recent past, and we're wrapping up some community meetings. I think we've got a event with Asheville Parks and Recreation coming up. Before you know it, Christmas is going to be here, and then the turn of the year will be January 1, 2026, and we'll be kicking off a whole new set of programming.
And not long after the new year, if those of you that didn't get a chance to participate in the Citizens Police Academy, we'll open up the applications for the spring edition. I know that usually happens in January, February.
Yeah, so we'll kick off with an announcement somewhere around the third week in January and let everybody know that we are going to be taking applications, and then we'll open that application link up. I was looking at the dates recently, and it looks like the start date is going to be around March 19th. And it'll run through, I think, May 21st, 10 consecutive Thursdays. But we'll be making an announcement probably the third week in January about that.
Do we already have some people that have reserved spots because they couldn't make it in the fall?
We try not to placehold spots. However, we did have overflow from the fall, and we've had folks that have reached out and basically said, hey, would you just think about me whenever you open up? So when we open up applications, we'll make sure we communicate with everybody that the application link is active, and we'll ask everybody to apply. And once we get the applications in, we'll conduct a review and seat the class.
Earlier in the podcast, we spoke with Chaplain Patrick Creed. And maybe some people don't know, but this and others do. It's not just the community engagement division that people know of, like the ones like Officer Cora and Debbie LaCroix and things like that. And just you also are over the SROs,
correct,
student resource officers, and our chaplains.
That's right.
And this was the first time I had a chance to sit down and really talk with Chaplain Creed before. We've obviously spoken at our events briefly. And what a great guy.
Oh, yeah, he's tremendous. He is He is so dedicated to the chaplain program, local minister within a community. Chaplain Creed spent tremendous amount of time with volunteer hours here at the agency, getting to know the officers, doing ride-alongs, and he was a huge part of the support in terms of the recovery for Hurricane Helene when we had some officers in need. So he has been a tremendous resource and help to us.
I think we've got a little side conversation piece in this podcast of basketball.
Yeah.
Because is his thing that he mentioned that some people don't know, he played college basketball. Now, he also prefaced it by saying it was a very small college.
Yes.
But he played college basketball. I know that you have refereed college basketball.
That's right.
Did you play college at all or just high school?
I did not play college. I played in high school.
Okay.
So, no, I did not play college basketball.
Still, though, another college basketball connection.
Yes, and, I think you and I have talked about this. I had a long run in refereeing in college basketball, both on the men and women's side, Division I, II, and III levels. One thing that I observed very early on was it doesn't matter if it is Division I, II, or III. If you play college basketball, you're skilled and you can play.
So I played Division II briefly. My impact on the college basketball landscape was as minimal as it could get. My final stat line was 1 for 1 with 1 blocked shot and 1 foul. So I had 1 rebound as well. So I literally had 1 basket, 1 rebound, 1 foul, and 1 block shot. That was it. That was my whole. But I did finish with 1,000 shooting percentage because I took 1 shot and made 1 shot. I only made it into 1 game. I was a walk-on, and I got hurt. And of course, nobody's got any need for a walk-on with a gimpy ankle. So at that point, I was off the team.
Yeah, but I was talking to a Division I coach. It's been years ago. And I was talking to him about a local player who was really skilled and in my opinion, had the ability to play college ball. And I asked him if he had noticed this kid and had any intentions of picking him up. And, his size was an issue. He was a little bit smaller, and he told me this. He said, if you're going to be 5'10", you have to be special at something. Regardless of that, the conversation of becoming a walk-on came up, and he said, he's good enough to be a walk-on, and you don't want to bring players on the team that will be a liability. Mm-hmm. It just amplified really how skilled you have to be, whether it's a walk-on or whether you're a starter, to even wear the uniform and be on the team.
Yeah, as a walk-on, they want people that are basically going to play hard-nosed defense and work the starters.
That's right.
And I hate to say it, but you're disposable. It's just, this is the guy that's going to do the extra stuff to make our starters better. And
That's right.
your job, and you actually take pride in it.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. The basketball that I played in college, as little as it was, that was some of the most fun I ever had playing basketball. Even just practicing. It was so hard and so... We had a guy, Andy Adams, and I'll never forget. He had the pointiest elbows, and I always had to guard him. Okay, so he was 6'6", kid from Texas, had a mullet, mustache. I loved me some Andy. But he had these pointy elbows, and he would post me up. So I had to guard him, right? And so I had this bruise in the middle of my chest for about 3 or 4 months every year. It's where he would post up. He stuck that thing right in there. And so that thing, I would just touch it sometimes. I'm like,
Right. Now they wear the padded shirts.
Oh, I know. And it's smart. I wish I had those back then. But boy, and I was just, Rick, you got to take it. It's that's just the way it is.
Yeah, that's when post-play was physical.
Oh, my gosh. They let us do just about anything. Or at least they let him just do about anything. I wasn't allowed to reciprocate.
Right.
So it is the Christmas season. You knew this was coming, right? The Pod Squad Holiday Pop Quiz Part 2.
Okay.
We've been having a lot of fun with this so far. I'm enjoying the answers. So here we go. White lights or colored lights on your Christmas tree?
White.
That was quick. Is that your decision or someone else?
Of course not, Rick. I mean, I've not had a decision on Christmas lighting in almost 30 years.
And I mentioned this to Patrick, that previously in my home, I liked the colored lights.
Right.
I was told at one point that we are now using white lights.
That's right.
And
that's right.
So from there on in, we started using white lights.
Yeah, and that's one of those battles I just said, oh, okay. Yeah,
hey, white lights are great.
Yeah, white lights are fine.
Blinking or not blinking?
Not blinking.
See, I like mine blinking occasionally. We have one that's runs on batteries, which is nice. You don't got to plug it in. And it's got different settings where it fades in and out, or it blinks in and out, or it just stays static.
Yep.
And I just mix and match it, just depending on mood.
Give you a little variety.
Yeah, it's kind of nice. How do we explain Rudolph's glowing red nose now that we're talking about? They never really get into What happened there? Is he a genetic freak?
AI.
Even back then, you say it was like I'm just you remember the animated.
I
special.
do remember.
And
So
it's just he was a young little fawn, and all of a sudden the darn thing starts glowing.
he starts glowing. I don't know that I've thought about an explanation for. You just accept some things for what they are.
I mean, radioactivity, maybe they don't say where it's
Maybe
located.
maybe Rudolph's nuclear.
Chernobyl, was it near? I don't. They never say where exactly.
That's true.
It's very snowy. It could have been Russia.
It could have been.
I don't know. Fruitcake, yes or no?
No.
Are you absolutely a hard no? Have you ever had the real, like at a bakery baked fruitcake soaked in liquor? Have you ever had that?
I don't know that I've had that.
Because I have. And it's
Yeah, it sounds like you're talking from experience here.
I was definitely a nay on the fruitcake that you think about that sits on the shelf of the pharmacy, like, whatever, for like 6 years, and then no on that. And then somebody like had made some, right? And they're like, oh, this is I made this in the summer. It's been like
So
sitting for a
here's
while.
what I've come to learn about myself. I say no to things in the food world because in my mind it just doesn't land with me. But then somebody will say, "Hey, try this or eat that," or they prepared something, and I try it, and all of a sudden I like it. And now my world has kind of opened up a little bit. But yeah, I'm not a foodie, and I'm not kind of inclined towards sweet things.
Okay.
But there's a lot of stuff out there that in my mind I'd initially say no, but I probably would like.
Someone gives you a forkful of it, maybe.
Yeah,
It's kinda like,
give me a fork
I'll
and
try anything once.
Exactly.
So give me your heartiest ho ho ho.
Ho, ho, ho.
Not bad. I like the enthusiasm.
Yeah.
Pronounce and spell, if you can, the traditional holiday plant with the red leaves. Opinions vary on this, on how to say this. You know what I'm talking about. It's wrapped in the foil. Sometimes you got like a 50 of them up in the front church. This is the traditional plant with the leaves that are red. They start, some of them are green. So how would you say that?
Poinsettia.
Aha. So that is two different pronunciations thus far. So I have heard people say it poinsettia, 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 and poinsettia. It is just.
What is the proper pronunciation?
I don't know. I'm not sure there is one way. It is spelled Poinsettia. So yes, it should. I'm guessing poinsettia.
Does it matter who you're talking to when you say that? Because if you catch me at the hardware store and somebody asks me that question, I'm likely maybe to code switch and
dumb that down a little bit.
Yeah.
Poinsettia.
That's right. That's right.
But poinsettia, if in proper company, I guess. Huh?
That's right.
All right. What is your favorite Christmas carol?
Joy to the world.
Joy to the World. I like.
Yeah.
I like that one. You can really get behind it.
Yes.
It's one of those ones that really brings in all of the season. I can totally get that. According to Buddy the Elf, what are the 4 food groups that elves can eat? The 4 food groups that elves can eat.
You got me on that.
Have you never seen Elf?
Yes, I have, but my memory's terrible.
Candy canes, candy corn, and syrup. Remember he put syrup on spaghetti?
That's no surprise coming from Buddy the Elf, right?
Buddy's different.
Buddy's different.
What's the reply to this question from a classic scene from the movie Christmas Vacation? You've seen Christmas Vacation, right?
Yes.
Okay. Why is the carpet all wet, Todd?
I don't know, Rick.
Oh, you were close, actually. It's I don't know, Margot.
I don't know, Margot.
How many la's in the song Deck the Halls? There's a lot of la's in there.
There's a lot of laws.
A lot of la's.
So who's the person that counts that?
I have no idea. It was not me.
That's not me.
It was not
I don't
me.
count laws.
No, there's a lot of la's. Are you going over under 50, over under 100? What are you saying?
I'm under 50.
No, 96 laws.
Holy cow. No kidding.
Holy cow. Yeah.
96 laws.
96. La 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 la. All right. When kissing under the mistletoe, is it acceptable to use tongue?
Where are we going with this
I
conversation?
want it's just if it's your wife, I mean, I would. I'm just. This is why we ask these questions.
Listen,
There's a lot of scenarios. I'm not talking like room full of coworkers. It could be anything. Is it acceptable? And then you can set the scenario if you like.
there's no judgment here. If you want to go full French,
Yeah.
lean in and go, man.
All right.
Go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just make sure the kids aren't around. It could be very traumatic for them.
Yeah.
I would think seeing that.
Well, you have to know, you have to know your audience, right?
It really is. It's going to be a case by case.
You know your audience, and yeah.
Okay. You got big plans for Christmas?
We have, we're going to stay local.
Okay.
And thankfully, all of my kids are here and in town. And we're going to do family. And it won't be any travel for us. So we're thankful for that. But
Very nice.
It'll be good.
All right. Well, very Merry Christmas to you and yours.
Yeah, you as well, Rick.
It's time for another History Minute with Hannah Silberman. I've been enjoying doing this all year long, celebrating the 150th anniversary of the Asheville Police Department, which comes to a close. You've been very actively involved in almost everything from the, I guess you would call it the yearbook, the book, the special badge that we had. We had a party. Has it been fun for you too?
Yeah.
I know you're big into history, so people can come into you for anything and everything, including me. As we've been telling the stories over the course of the year, we have a final one, and it is the holiday season. So do we have a holiday theme?
We do.
Awesome.
The theme is holiday partying for the Asheville Police Department, which used to be an annual tradition for our department from the very earliest days in 1891.
Well, I guess the department was a lot smaller then, so a lot easier to get everybody in one place. Hopefully somebody was on the desk, but, if they weren't, they weren't.
Yeah. I mean, there was no phone, so they would know where to run to find them.
That's true.
The earliest one I found was in Christmas of 1891, where Chief McDowell had all 12 members of the department to his house on Bearden Avenue, and they gave him a cane, which was also a pretty regular occurrence, an inscribed cane, because that's what they often walked around with. So that also happened in 1895 and 1898, where the patrolman gifted that to the chief. And the newspaper used the same joke every time, which was that the chief was caned by their subordinates, which was the joke.
Once is good, but,
every year.
Every year, same joke.
But it's very funny because a few days later, after Chief McDowell had the members over, he was accused of violating police regulations. And I always thought this was one of the funniest things, but it said, "I saw Chief of Police McDowell violate on Christmas Day a police regulation because the officers weren't allowed to smoke on duty, but because on Christmas he let up, they said he was smoking a cigar and was surrounded by 3 or 4 of the force who were puffing away on their Havanas." And they
How
complaining
dare
to me,
they?
How awful on Christmas Day for that chief to enjoy a cigar with his officers.
Oh, I assume there was some disciplinary action taken because of that. It's just horrible.
Police committee. A couple of years later, in 1900, Chief Lyerly invited, again, every member of the police department to his house on South French Broad. They had turkey, geese, quail, and, quote, almost everything the season brings. In 1903, the department got a little bit bigger, so they didn't have a big party, but they exchanged gifts, and they thankfully described everything that they got in the newspaper. So the chief was given a roller-top desk and a box of cigars.
Nice.
And an electric searchlight, which a flashlight would have been a very tech-forward thing to have at the time.
Yeah.
And then the chief and the captains paid for all of the officers to have an oyster supper together at a restaurant downtown. So would have been good.
I'll tell you, we'd need an awfully big home right now to have
have everybody over.
Maybe the Biltmore. That's technically a home, right?
Yeah. 1906, they had a big multi-course Christmas banquet at the Swannanoa Hotel, which would be where the Aloft is today on Biltmore. But that one was in honor of fallen officers Blackstock and Bailey because that had happened only a few weeks before.
Right.
In 1907, again, they gave us a list of all the gifts they exchanged, which I really like. Chief Collins was gifted a, quote, pearl-handled Smith & Wesson revolver of the latest design with solid nickel trimmings, which was described as one of the handsomest guns ever seen here.
I was about to say, that sounds like a gorgeous gun.
And then another captain was given golden lion's head cuff buttons with diamonds and emeralds in them, and the other was given a jeweled golden watch. I mean, they were on top of it in 1907.
We got T-shirts this year.
Yeah, in a book.
No, I don't mean to seem ungrateful. I like the T-shirt.
So each of the officers were given neckwear. So the one piece of personal appearance you got under your uniform was your necktie. So the chief gave them all fancy neckties. So that they got kind of the equivalent of a T-shirt.
Yeah, in a way. Yeah. Now, we also got your book as well.
That's fine. Yes,
and we also got a challenge coin, and it was a great gesture. So whoever's listening right now, I don't want them to think that didn't appreciate it.
I mean, it's no lion's head cuff with diamonds and emeralds. But
it is not, but the times are changing.
Former Chief Jordan was working as our first detective at the time, and apparently they gave him, quote, an ornate pair of suspenders because they joked that he had lost his in pursuing a fugitive because he liked to run after people. So that was his joke.
Okay. So some thought went into it.
Yeah, but they like to give guns. In 1910, a captain was also given a .32 caliber Remington. But after around World War I, we kind of stopped all of the Christmas giving, and they transitioned to charity. So they would do these Christmas baskets where the police department gathered money, and then they bought baskets of food to give out to the unfortunate, and we did that until the 1930s. They call it a cheer fund.
Well, and it would get more and more difficult as the department grows. I mean, you can do kind of those things when you have 15, 20, 25 people maybe. But.
Well, they resurrected it in the 1920s, and they got pretty ruckus. They had an annual banquet. Both the police and the fire did, and it was often in the municipal building. We have some pictures of it.
Oh.
I have a description of one from 1923 where they had roast turkey, smoked herring, fruitcake, ice cream, oysters. Apparently they went really crazy. They sang together. They hired a live band.
So wait a second. You're saying the police and fire got along in that year?
No, they didn't until 1937. That was the first time they held a joint banquet.
So they had their party, but
They had their
them
separate ones,
Let's keep those folks
But I
separate.
think the city officials got tired of attending two right one after another, and they said, you guys should
Listen,
have
you
the same
guys
one
play
together."
nice. We're going to have one party.
Yeah, but the last Christmas banquet I've ever found was in 1954, and then we stopped.
And
so
that was
kept
it?
going in the 1950s, yeah.
So now our banquet is basically our awards banquet, which occurs and coming up next year. It's going to be a little bit earlier in March as opposed to like May, which makes a little more sense because having it halfway through a year, kind of like and you're celebrating the previous year, it's like, all right, so moving it to March is a good time. Looking forward to that. All right, so since we're talking about the holidays, everybody's got to play. So it's your turn for the Pod Squad Holiday Pop Quiz Part 2. I didn't make you do Part 1 just because, I figured doing it once is probably enough.
Sure.
Put you under pressure. But this one here, so everyone's done this one. White lights or colored lights on your Christmas tree?
White lights,
Blinking or not blinking?
not blinking.
So how do we explain Rudolph's glowing red nose? We're never given a real theory to this. Anything? I mean, coke habit, just got a cold, radioactive, nothing?
Nothing.
They never explain it. It's a glowing red nose, and all of a sudden everyone's supposed to just assume this is kosher. This is.
Well, when I was little, I thought the airplanes with the lights flashing would be Santa's sleigh, so maybe that's why they.
It could be something to do with that. Okay. So who would have more mojo? Do you think? Do you think it'd be Rudolph with his red nose, or Frosty with the magic top hat?
Or mojo.
Yeah, I mean, because they can both do things, right? Because Rudolph is leading the sleigh by night and whatever, but just because they have the nose.
Magic top hat.
Magic top hat. I mean, it brings a snowman to life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going with the top hat as well. All right, fruitcake, yes or no?
No.
Yeah, no one liking the fruitcake. Okay. Give me your heartiest ho, ho, ho.
Ho, ho, ho.
I had a feeling you'd
I
downplay that
can't
one.
do that one. I also got a cold right now.
Yeah, you're a little laid back. I was waiting to see your reaction. Everybody else has gone all in that.
No,
But
I'm
you
good.
did exactly what I thought you would do on that one. Okay, can you pronounce the traditional holiday plant with red leaves? Because there's a little bit of a dispute on how to pronounce this. You know which one I'm talking about, right?
Poinsettia?
See, we've heard poinsettia. We've had people add the T. So you're saying poinsettia. That is how it's spelled.
Yeah.
So-
I don't know.
Very, very proper of you. What is your favorite Christmas carol? Be it either a secular one or a hymn or something along those lines. Anything come to mind?
I sang Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer with my daughter the other day, so maybe we'll stick with that.
That sounds like a great memory. And does she know the words? Or
She does. We saw one of the blow-up reindeers when we were driving, and
Awesome.
she started trying to sing it and couldn't remember. So that's a good one.
It's Rudolph.
Yes.
I like it a lot. Okay. According to Buddy the Elf, you've seen Elf, right? According to Buddy the Elf, what are the 4 food groups that elves can eat? There's a specific scene.
They're all sugar, right?
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember.
Candy,
Yeah.
candy canes, candy corn, and syrup.
Syrup. I knew he liked syrup.
He poured it on spaghetti. It's disgusting. Okay, what's the reply to this question from the classic scene from the movie Christmas Vacation? Have you seen Christmas Vacation? Why is the carpet all wet, Todd?
It's been a long time.
I don't know, Margot. Oh, come on. How many laws in the song Deck the Halls? Now, this was discussed at a Christmas party we both attended this weekend. Were you overhearing
96?
it? It is 96. You heard it.
I did.
The kitchen conversation. 96 laws in Deck the Halls. Okay, when kissing under the mistletoe, is it acceptable to use tongue?
No.
Ever?
I mean, it depends on who's around, I guess.
It is a very situational type thing. All right, so a very Merry Christmas and Happy New Year's. And, well, in your case, I guess you do have some Jewish in your family. So happy Hanukkah.
Thank you.
Which just began as well.
It
So
did.
all of that. And thank you for being a part of all this year. I have enjoyed it. We'll keep doing the History Minute, but not every single episode. It'll be a special occasion thing when we have something come up that's very cool.
Yep, sounds great. Thank
Hannah
you.
Silberman, thank you very much. Thanks for listening to the APD Pod Squad, and thank you to my guests, Master Police Officer Joe Jones, APD Chaplain Patrick Creed, Captain Jonathan Brown, and Hannah Silberman with the History Minute. Don't forget, if there's a topic you'd like to discuss, or if you've just got a question, or even a guest suggestion, call 828-250-8800 and leave a voicemail. That's 828-250-8800. Or you can email apdpodcastfeedback@asheville.nc.gov. Listen and subscribe now wherever you get your podcasts, and don't miss a single episode. Let's face it, you're probably not getting a Christmas bonus, so this might be it. Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas! I'm Rick Rice, and this is the APD Pod Squad.
Mountains high.